Hello, my U-Turn family. Welcome to the U-Turn Show. If you are new, this is a platform for empowering our communities through impactful conversations, real life stories, and resources for youth and women. Every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we gather here to spotlight voices that challenge limits and those that reminds us that real change begins the moment we choose to turn in a new direction, to make a U-turn. So, if you are navigating change in your life, looking for clarity, or building the next big thing, you belong here. So, share this conversation and stick with us as we begin the real talk, real growth, real U turn.
Thank you so much for joining today. My name is Alakir. I'm one of the U-Turn members, and we're joined by our colleague Luca. We're gonna start as we wait for other U-Turn members to join. But yeah, if you are here today, please do let us know where you're joining from. If you have any questions, post them in the chat. We'll address them as we go along. And also participate by providing your perspective in the chat. We always go to read them, and um, we hope you walk away with something today. I'm also looking forward to learning from you. Welcome, Manyok. Manyok is very excited to listen today. So am I. I'm gonna talk, but you can hear me. I have a bit of flu, so that's why my voice is like this. So bear with me as we figure this out together. So today we're talking about how to, we're talking about healthy relationships, boundaries, and personal growth. And U10 is a platform that is helping support individuals, women, youth, anyone else really that is interested in their own personal growth. We are excited to bring this conversation as relationships are a major, major part of what make you who you are. How to manage relationships, how to set and maintain boundaries actually leads to personal growth, or it can stand in the way of your own growth. So we're going to start with the very question of let's start with the reflection. If you were to define or explain what a healthy relationship look like or feel like, um, what would you say? Like in one word. So put a word in the comment and let us know. And I'll start off before I invite Luca to share his reflection on this question. Um, a healthy relationship, I think, feels like a space where people, one or two or multiple, are supporting each other. They show up with respect. They show up with they bring a lot of care to the relationship, and they communicate when there is conflict or perspective that don't align. So this doesn't stay constant; it changes over time. So personally, when you look at a relationship where you are um you know the test is quite easy actually. So when you talk to someone, you are in a relationship, is it friendship, is it romantic, is it whatever it is, when you talk to them at the end of the conversation, how do they leave you feeling? Like, do you feel empowered? Do you feel good about yourself? Do you feel good about the conversation? And that, I think, should give you a general idea of what a good and healthy relationship look like. And then you can take it further when you have great news to share and you share it with this person. Are they excited for you? Do they celebrate you? I think that's also part of the support that we're talking about. If a person in relationship with you is supportive of your ideas, of your growth, of your achievements, I think it's a healthy relationship. And then the flip side is when there's conflict. Conflict, when you share a boundary with someone, how do they react to that? right? So that will also determine if the relationship is healthy or not. And most of the time, it's about the language on how we share these boundaries. That if you share it in a proper language that the other person can understand where you're from, I believe relationships can be successful that way. So I want you to leave it in the chat. Like, what do you think are the, indicators of a relationship being healthy? And then we'll get into it. So I'll invite Luca for now to kind of share what he has learned over time. Luca, what have you learned and how has your understanding of healthy relationship changed over time? Relationships start very early on. When you're very young, you have your best friend, the person you really want to hang out with all the time, or you want to play with them all the time, or you want to go talk to them when you get 100% on mathematics, things like that. And then you grow up to be in puberty, and that's when people start, other relationships like dating, right? In dating, how does a healthy relationship look like? And then later on, perhaps you are married. How does a healthy relationship look like in your marriage, right? So, look, if you're able, please unmute and share your reflection. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Madam Alakir. Thank also to our viewers and everyone who is always with us here at the U10 platform. My name is Luca, and I'm also a U10 member. I'm really, really very excited to share with you today a conversation basically on the healthy relationship and what are the boundaries and what thing that show the unhealthy relationship. So on my side, first of all, this thing of relationships, some people may understand it like it basically focus on when you are in dating or you are in a business with someone or you have someone who always help you. That is and this is how other people understand the relationship. But healthy relationship does not focus on those part only. It goes beyond that one. Like what Alakira has mentioned before, it start when you are still young. It personally start when you were with your mom, your dad, who among those two people always look after you when you have a problem, always look after you when you need something. This is how this is where the beginning of healthy relationship is start. Mostly when you are a male, like you really understand that most of the time when you are 3 to 5 or 5 to 7 years, the person always sit close to you or always look after your problem or who can listen to you mostly maybe your daddy and sometimes it goes back to the gender, like when you are a female, the person whom you can report your problem or something that is failing you may not be your daddy. If you are a girl, you report to your mom. And what shown those things, it come to when there is an opportunity of you coming closer to your mom. Is where you push so much to go and report whatever you are going through to your mom. When it comes to that thing, also there are some of the ladies who, when they are still young, they don't like sitting next to their mom. Even people get scared and get worried about such ladies. Why are they always with their daddy? It comes when there is a good relationship between a child and her daddy. That's why you can see some of the young ladies when they are 5, 7, 10, they always talk to their daddy without asking mommy. All these things happen, and this goes beyond what other people think. So to me, basically, I can think this healthy relationship come in when you share things together, like in relationship, you are dating, and the one you are in dating together does not take does not take much from you. Mostly when it comes to economical support or physical support. You are not the one, or emotional support. You are not the one who is just there to give a support to console that lady, or to console your boyfriend. This is not an healthy relationship. When you are there, like, it become, to some people now, they think when you do all the thing, a lady may understand that you are giving support, but for you, you may take it like this is just a transactional relationship. This does not show that it is an healthy relationship anymore, when one side is the one doing a lot of the thing. And that is what I think some of the relationship does not go long. And when it comes to uh, a family relationship, some people, they don't have much to share when they are with their daddy, or when they are with their brother. You may not talk more to your elder brother, but you go and talk much with your younger brother or younger sister. This proves that maybe there is something that is not going well between you and your elder brother, and this puts you back to someone who is at the lowest, what, at the lowest line. So those things always goes through what, to prove that there is differences there. When it comes to boundaries, also there are some people who cannot focus and have some boundaries when they are with you in relationship. There are some boundaries which are not supposed for someone to cross when they want to keep the relationship moving on well. Some people cross boundaries, and there is someone who cannot endure that one. Like, over when you are relationship with your friend, you have been together, your friendship is going well, and in some way around, it become like it is you are just the one who can solve all the problem of that person. This relationship does not stay long. When one of your friend who might be in a position to help you, you share ideas together, you turn that opportunity now to be like, whenever you have something, you have another problem, you have any problem, you want that person like to be the one who can you can run to solve everything for you. Later on, when you also don't give anything, it become a transactional relationship. So here, this one does not allow the relationship to go deep, and it make the relationship to be look unhealthy one, when one side is the one benefiting mostly. And that one push many people not to stay in a relationship for so long. And when we look back to the same way other people are going through now, it proves there are some of the things people don't like to approach and try to put in their mind. There are some people you cannot try to have relationship with them because they are very hard to be approached. And relationship is not by force. It is something. It is something start through conversation or through coming in contact with someone whom you sit together, you share something together, or you have helped a person in a very hard situation. Then that person try to come to bring you closer so that they can also start to learn more from you. So this thing, many people go through it, and this one prove that there are so many ways and healthy relationship move together. Thank you. Back to you, Alakir.
Thank you so much, Luca, for sharing, and you've covered a lot of ground with this question. Just want to echo what you have said. The For sure, health, like, relationships are, something that start way earlier in life. I also want to welcome our U-turn member, Dorcas. Dorcas, welcome. So it start way earlier. When you are very young, you have relationship with your parents and may not be the same with both parents. One parent maybe listen more, the other parent, you go to a different parent for different things. And then it evolved to friendship with your classmate, people you go to school with or play sports with, and then to, romantic relationship, and to later on as a married person or a parent to your own children. So over those relationships, we learn different things about how to manage and how to keep those relationships healthy. Because ultimately, if you don't keep the relationship healthy, you'll have no choice but to end it. But some relationships are easy to end than others. So it all comes down to, yes, the values. Somebody mentioned here in the comments. I'm just gonna highlight Rebecca Ding, one of our regular um, sister in the circle, says the values or what really shows the relationship is healthy. How do you assess? She mentioned that if there's respect, if there's understanding, if there's honesty, and wishing the very best for each other, um, these are the keys for a healthy relationship and applies to anyone, right? Like Luca was mentioning, just because you are family with a person doesn't automatically makes you friends. Friendship is something you build. Relationship is something you contribute to as both parties in the relationship. And if you're just joining us, we are talking today about having healthy relationship, make putting boundaries, and how that affect your personal growth. Um, with special focus on empowering women, especially in the side of romantic relationships, but we will come to that. Before we come to that, I will also highlight one more comment from the chat from Mamera de John. Says the most important tool of relationships is communication. Without it, that relationships will fall apart. Absolutely correct. If you're not communicating in a relationship, it may actually fall apart, right? So you have to express what is going on. If anything is uncomfortable, address them very much early on rather than waiting for things to go really, really bad and now you have to leave. So right now, the question we're addressing is, what does healthy relationship look like and feel like to you? I've talked about the feel like part is after interacting with someone you are in a relationship with, doesn't matter what kind of relationship, you walk away feeling great about yourself, feeling empowered, feeling supported. Those are ways of assessing your relationship has value. If you walk away feeling drained, feeling upset, and you can assess this over time. The last 5 conversations you've had with this person, did you walk away feeling like good or bad or things like that? And that might be time to say, hey, if I'm walking away from this relationship not feeling so good, is it something I can address with this person? Is it something we can resolve? Is there a way to create opportunities to have fulfilling, conversations, experience, memories? If not, is it time to end it because you have so much energy? And if things are always taking away from your positive energy, maybe it's going to be in your in a way of your personal growth, and you have to make the tough decision whether to end that relationship or not. So um also over time our understanding of relationship change, right? The relationship you have with your parent is different from the relationship you have with your best friends, your classmates, your romantic partner, your wife or husband, your children, your grandchildren, and it goes on. Different kinds of relationship call for different things. And as you grow in different phases of life, what you value or what you think is a good relationship changes a lot. So I'm gonna let our sister Dorcas reflect on it, and then we'll move on to the second question. If you're watching, please leave your reflections in the comment. We also would like to learn from you. I'm not an expert on relationships. I'm here to also learn and facilitate this conversation. So, Dorcas, welcome. Please let us know what a relationship, a healthy relationship, look like, and how your understanding has changed over time.
All right. Hi, Alakir and Hebron that is watching us. Also, hi, Luca. I'm grateful to be here today to be in this discussion. It's really amazing and it's something that we experience every day in our daily life, right? So to go straight, because most of my colleagues have already talked about a lot of things about relationship. So for me, to just go straight to it, like what I understand about relationship is that it is not about avoiding that disagreement with maybe friend or some people. So uh, it means how you feel safe, supported in any way, um, valued and respected. So yes, and in all those dimensions, you can be respected and still have some disagreement. You can be valued and still have some disagreement. Today there are way that we have perceived maybe love, or maybe you have to change over time. Like some people say that when you love someone, you have to endure, you have to suffer for them, you have to abandon yourself and do it for them. So that in most cases that's how people perceive love, right? Or you sacrifice for them. But I think over time it change, and for me I think that, and also sometimes some people like they abandon the emotional feeling, and they really avoid how they feel towards some people that are around them, just to make sure that they maintain that relationship, right? But for me, but maybe say the experiences that I had with people in all different dimensions of relationship, I feel that a really healthy relationship encourage personal growth, right? Both for those that are in a relationship, and like let me say, like our parent, right? The way they always want us to grow personally, they will do everything to make sure that we grow, we become better people, we succeed and all those things. And yeah, immediately as they do that, we cannot relate or maybe give it back to them to make sure they also grow. So, and that is kind of parent children relationship. And also for me, I feel a healthy relationship should encourage solving problem, right, without abusing each other. And if you feel you can't solve this and it is beyond, you just exit without any issues, because you guys can't make it. Another one is to support dream, right? To support someone dream instead of controlling someone, in a way that you can manage to support. Like I cannot support a lucky dream, though we have some differences. Instead of me controlling her to be like I want her to be like me or how I want her to be, you have to allow her to be herself and support her dream, right? Because that is who she is, that's her exactly, you can't change her. So that's what I feel and what I understand about a healthy relationship. So someone has to respect you, value you, support you, your dream, and make sure that you remain who you are. And when it comes to the other question, like, is it? uh So yeah, that's how I've understood it. And the change is that it change over time when you realize that you are not either supported, you are not respected. You someone the friend that you say friend look down on you and doesn't even value you or your boundaries. So you feel like, why is this happening? Like if you are not valued, your boundaries are not respected. So you feel like this is not working for me, and you realize that you have to let this go and you move, and maybe you move on or you do other things, or you learn to communicate. Maybe if you see there's a way you can work it out, then you can do that. Again, it is change when you guys get different path again. Maybe when it comes to dream, is mostly dream, because I believe the friendship that have boundaries and respect, value, no matter the dimension, you will still support each other in those different ways. but the one that have doesn't have such always has to end up, right? So it is changing over time, mostly when maybe in different field, maybe uh, people starting to live have different lifestyle and all those things. Yes, it is changing over time. You're gonna have different lifestyle, and you see that you now have different way you behave for different way you do things, and you find out that it's no common point and no common ground anymore, and you see that there are no ways you can really do it. Yeah, so those such areas make it change.
Thank you so much, Dorcas. You've really covered like what we really are looking for when we say what does a healthy relationship look like and feel like. If you feel supported, you feel valued, you feel respected, then you are definitely in a healthy relationship. On the other side, if you feel disrespected, not valued, not loved, blah blah blah, all that, then it probably is a toxic relationship, right? So if you're just joining us today, we're having a conversation on relationships. What are healthy relationship? What does it look like? And what are we'll talk about boundaries in a little bit, and then ultimately this is about personal growth. Relationship can make or break you, and it's your responsibility to be able to sit down and assess what kind of relationships you have. Are they contributing to your personal growth? Are they not contributing, and what you can do about it? So we have today our colleague Luca and Adij who share their reflection. If you are watching online, please do share your reflection in the comment section, and we will be able to read your comment and also learn from you. Not one person is an expert in relationship. We all have failed relationships. We have successful relationships, and we learn that relationships change over time, or our perception and our definition, or what we see as healthy and good relationship also changes depending um in a different times of our lives. um so let's move on to the second question. um and this question is specifically, this conversation was going to be about women empowerment, but the reason we're emphasizing on this is most of the time, right, most of the time the relationships are, relationships, especially on women's side. When you do get into a relationship, women have this, how do I call it? This urge to accommodate, right? To immediately try and change themselves, to accommodate whoever they're in relationship with. It may come from conditioning because you're always taught, oh, you must behave like this so you can keep a marriage, things like that. So this question says, why do many people, especially women, struggle to set boundaries, and how can we communicate our needs without feeling guilty or selfish? So if you're not a woman, you might not have experienced this, but as a woman, if you are a woman, you may know what exactly I'm talking about. The rush at the beginning to accommodate, say you are getting started with a new relationship, and there is, I don't know, lack of consistency. For example, this person doesn't text you regularly enough, doesn't call enough. You take it upon your own hands to be the person that's always calling them, things like that, or the lack of planning. Maybe they didn't plan a date in 1 or 2 weeks. I don't call that a relationship, but potentially that could be a situation. And you take it on your own hand to start setting up dates. So that um starting off with giving, too much, doing too much, eventually will lead to a place where you cannot set boundaries because you've shown this person that, oh, it's okay to not call me, or it's okay to not, set up a date, or it's okay to not talk about important things in a relationship. And that goes really wrong really fast and you have no choice but to move on and start all over again. So the thing here, what's happening is the fear, right? If women do not communicate their needs, because they feel guilty or they feel like they'll be called selfish, then you have that fear of losing that relationship, right? And if that relationship doesn't support you to begin with, I don't think it's worth um, spending your time and investing in it and all that. So we'll talk about this. Many girls or women struggle to set boundaries or communicate their needs without feeling guilty or selfish because they see their action as the determinant of this relationship lasting or not. And most of the time, it really doesn't matter what you do. The relationship is destined to fail, it will fail. If it's destined to stay, it will stay. But what can you do to maintain or to maintain some self-respect, right? So I'll first cái cho mà Adich if I'm Connie in about this thing. Why women struggle to set boundaries and communicate their needs without feeling guilty and why it's important to know these things if women want to have healthy relationships, be able to set boundaries and still have some personal growth even if they're in set relationships. So, and then we'll talk. Luca can provide his reflection from the men's side of things point of view. And then, yeah, if you're watching, please do share your response to this question. If you're a man, probably know what it feels like on the other side. If you're a woman, please share your experience. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Alkir, for giving me this opportunity again. By the way, this is really a very hard and difficult question to discuss, mostly as being, let me say, being a black girl or being an African girl. So, our community has expectation that they have for us as women since childhood as a girl. And there's a way you are groomed, right? There's a way you are groomed. You need to be quiet. A good girl has to be quiet. You need to be a peacemaker. You need to be you need to be accommodating everyone because that's what a girl should do, and in such a way that that's how you also accommodate your family, your kids, and all those things. So, and that's the standard of what they think a woman should do or a young girl should do in the community today. So, due to all those things, starting when you are young, you have to be like this, behave like this, dress like this. So, you'll grow up like that. And citing, citing become habits, become part of us. You have to be quiet. As a girl, you have to be accommodating everyone. You have to be peacemaker. Those qualities of a good girl and a good woman. And with citing, I think when we grow up, you learn to be self-aware and already trapped in how you should be good for everybody, right? And even things that are disrespectful to you. So you start to say to keep quiet even when you see you are being disrespected. You tolerate disrespect. At some point, you do it for the peace to be there, even though it's something that does not align or does not make you happy. And I think the thing that we need to learn is that boundary is not rejection. Saying no to this, like let me say I'm a student today. I have test tomorrow, and maybe the test was something that is abrupt, right? And we decided to have maybe dinner or something today, right? I can say, guys, no, I will not be there today. I have this tomorrow. And that does not mean that I doesn't like you guys anymore, maybe the friend, or I'm not happy with you, but I'm doing it for me, right? For something that I should do something for me. So not yes, 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 but no at some point. So such habit and behaviors become part of us, whereby when we grow up, we learn to struggle with saying no. We learn to struggle with walking away with things that are disrespectful to us. We learn to also, at some point, struggle on how we can also accommodate us, our needs, with the community need that they expect from us of being good girl, accommodating girl, and the girl that does all those things. So those are the things that I see make us struggle, mostly with the aim of you don't want to be disowned, because more the people are disowned. You don't want to be seen as someone that is not good fit in the community, like you are culture, right? You are different and all those things. Like you don't want to be different. You don't want to embrace your differences. And even if something that you don't feel comfortable with, you just say yes because you want to please some people, right? Instead of saying no, I don't want this. It doesn't go with me. You even know how you feel inside you that this thing is not good for you. But at some point, you want to be accommodating, you say yes. So, and I think with time, as you invest in yourself, to learn to be self aware of yourself, to learn to appreciate how you are and what you need, what you value, how where you feel happy, where you feel connected, where you feel supported. So learning all those things at the end result of knowing yourself while balancing to accommodate, yes, but shouldn't go beyond your boundaries. And honestly, be setting your boundaries, that doesn't mean that you are not respectful. You are at some point saying no to what you really feel you don't like. So that's what I can say.
Thank you, Dorcas. I think you covered where that is stemming from. That that conditioning for women to always um how do I say it, to make themselves small to keep the peace, right? I think it always come from you don't want to be discriminated or disowned by family or by society, because if word gets out that you are a difficult person to deal with, you're always angry, and even if that is just expressing your boundary, it's being taken as, yani yin ra rach, nyan nge ki ko bear talk, like, things like that. Nyan nge ki ko oi nyin, things that don't really make sense, then women do feel this pressure to make themselves small and to fit in, right? Because you were raised to be measured off, and eventually you'll have to be the one adjusting to your new, household. So this kind of conditioning we carried into relationships, and it eventually worked in against us, because we we've seen it. We've seen it. We've seen Nyajati Arusa. They're very quiet. They kala kon a check a koi wini, a check a koi berto, a check it jam, a check a pingro, right? And then they have 2 or 3 children later. Now they're crazy. Now they're on Facebook Live. Now they are calling everybody's bullshit. It's not because they change, it's because they not allowed to be openly themselves around people, because apparently being that is not good for the peace in the house, peace in the society, peace in the I don't know whatever. But what it does is eventually a woman start losing themselves, right? So they I, either they go crazy and survive, or they continue to be quiet and die slowly, or in abrupt way. Anyway, so that is not good. We don't want to teach our young girls or boys to be, make themselves small to keep the peace. I feel like it's best to, at the very beginning, to set those boundaries, to express themselves, and to be able to feel valued regardless of whether they are quiet or they are very loud in the room. And just to contextualize the world we're living today, it doesn't really benefit someone to be quiet. You need to be able to express yourself, express your values, express your boundaries, and to get people to respect you. Making yourself small doesn't really get people to respect you. Just invite them to walk all over you because they're like, oh, that's who they are. So eventually, what is happening on the other side is people start looking at you and think that is who you are, right? They don't know you any better. So they start treating you the way you are, allowing them to treat you. So it's really important as women to be able to, learn these things very early on, right? And if you've entered a dynamic, sometimes you enter a dynamic where you start to make yourself small because the other person always gets angry if you're overly expressive or share your boundaries or share your values or share anything you're passionate about. And I would strongly, strongly advise if it's not too late, leave and start over again, right? And I know this is something frowned upon in the community. If you leave a relationship and start over again, people start saying, oh, eke chagwe nyananga, eke la, monyawan, kule monya, kule monya. But would you rather your daughter or your sister to die of shame, right? In a relationship that is not really helping them? No, let them leave, right? We need to stop with this purity culture and mindset of shaming women for leaving toxic situation. Relationship is toxic, makes you feel suffocated, makes you dislike yourself, it makes you depressed. Please leave. It's better you leave and people say bad things, but you survive and you have a chance to have a better relationship in the future. So it's not just women though. Depending on upbringing, some men also do struggle to set boundaries, and we've seen this. Like we talk about this phenomenon of, say, a man like pay school fees for some woman, hoping they will get something in return, but that is not a good thing. You haven't really set a boundary, and you haven't defined a relationship. You're not a father to this girl, right? Why are you stepping in to provide everything when you don't know for sure what the outcome of the situation is, right? So look at if you know any of this story or you've seen anyone that has been in a situation where they cannot express boundaries. And let me just be real, women also can be toxic in relationships, right? So some men also feel trapped and they think there's no way they can leave. So Luca, we can provide our brothers with some reflection, and then we will talk to our sister Lit. Lit, thank you so much for joining. We'll come back to you once Luca has shared his reflection on this question. Thank you. Okay, I cannot hear Luca. Can anyone hear them? All right, we'll go to Luca and then we'll go to Lit. Lit, please share your reflection. The question is, why do many people, especially women, struggle to set boundaries, and how we can communicate needs without feeling guilty or selfish? Take it away.
All right. Thank you so much. And I'm happy to be here again today. It has been a while without be on a live stream. And I really thank you for commitment that you people have been carrying on. The topic has been so interesting, but forgive me, I joined late and I have also to give my opinion. You people have really talked a lot. The life of Monica and then the Dorcas, you people have really put in the main focus, the point that I was supposed to talk about. So just wanted to add something on that. See, when you talk about like someone setting a boundaries, it's very hard for some people, and this is where you see that when people are in the village, there are some people who really wanted to have their own thing, but I think that all the things that you want to have in your house. So in some of the cases, I call it that so what that person wants is that wanted to be independent, wanted to be self-reliant, so that to have the boundaries that someone was around and that person will have a respect for he or she, because everything that needed in life are talking that has women. How okay, like as people, how can you set the boundaries that and you communicate to people without guilt? You see, some people teaching you like when someone tells you that you are ugly, you will believe that you're ugly for the rest of your life. But when you change that statement, then you start telling yourself that, oh no, I'm not ugly, I'm beautiful. You see, that one will give you the strength of resisting what others perceive about you. And you will start setting your boundaries. Someone is telling you that you're ugly. Oh no. And there's no problem. I'm ugly, yes, but me myself, I'm not ugly. So people really they fear for that they will be, maybe they will be rejected when they tell someone that that you are not good. Like maybe if I started now behaving myself and all these things, people will leave me and I will be lonely and a lot of things, you see. So, and that one is not the case. The more you even behave yourself, the more you get respect, the more people will come to you. And there's a difference for you to be yourself or to be with other people. There are, these are two different things. For you to have respect, it doesn't mean that only that you set the boundaries, that you don't want to talk to anyone, but you need some of the communication that you should involve. Not every communication that you should be involved. And let me running that is selfishness, but no, that is not selfishness. You are trying that so that someone will respect you. Because if you don't start respect by yourself, no one will respect you. Everyone would like to just do whatever thing they wanted to do. So that is what I just wanted to add on how we should set the boundaries. Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much, Lit. Very, very important perspective to have because yes, people will label you if they don't get their way. And I wouldn't. I would say I take us like they want you to be open and always giving, but I think it's all reciprocity in relationships, and if that is not happening, you're well within your right to be like, hey, you know what? I don't like when this happens, and if they can't agree to it, well, too bad. There's a question in the comment that I want to address before we move on. Akut Majak is saying, did you mean divorce or just normal relationships of breakup? I think she's referring to when I said if you've set a toxic dynamic and there's no way to change it, you just need to leave and start over again. Um, for marriage, I really don't like talking about marriage because it's not my experience. I've never been married, never lived with a man and children. And marriage is more complex than a relationship between two people that has not involved families. So marriage has two families coming together. And then there's children. So when you make a decision to leave in a relationship where it's not marriage yet, it's very straightforward. Between two people, you leave, it's done. When you are in a relationship where there is children, where there are families that you have brought together, it's a little more complex. And I would strongly advise you seek, you seek um, to understand the consequences from other people. So say into a relationship, into a marriage, into tiak, ku tiang akin la the way you expected, because sometimes we have a different you know perception, or we think things will look different. But in reality, they don't look different. You find out somebody maybe have been not showing who they are until it's too late. You cannot leave. And I'm talking from the point of view of women, right? So the marriage is already set up to make it difficult to leave because waka chika yen pa andun two families are chika bay together. Maybe this person, the way they behave to you is different from the way they behave outside. Rana labatabi ke ran when angich ke ran piet ejam yit ejam eko voice support. Lakinale Ben by is a totally different person, right? It probably is not as supportive, it probably has not as good as people describe them. And then Louis speak up, kachira Louis believe, right? Nobody's gonna believe that you're saying the truth. Don't talk about that. We were strongly encouraged not to ruin life for men. But nobody really cares how much your life is being ruined as a woman, right? I feel like society culture cause more than it culture nong dia. So to make that decision, Nata, in that situation, step one is to talk to women that have left their marriage. Jama kena ke. Chukatij, why did you leave despite all the support you lost? You could lose support from your own family. You lose support from the family of the guy. You lose support from the society. As we've seen, a lot of people look, it's not a good status to be a single mother or a single or a divorced person. So really try and understand and deliberately make that decision knowing the consequences. That na chajal, what are the benefits you're losing from leaving a marriage, right? It could be financial benefits, it could be, help in the household, na irani yukwany. And then, but I would say if it's too much, like if you feel like you're gonna, you chicken be no, in I would say leave. There are women that have left and they are still surviving and they're out there despite what rumors you are hearing, right? And I chiranji jal, a chene tok peer. That's not end of the world, is what I'm saying. That chene tok peer do. Na kana rear kana ran shin tia. But don't listen to me. I'm Kenneth Diak. I'm Ken by Paul. I really don't I don't talk too much about relationships because I'm not that experienced in it. Um so yeah, Akut, if you're still watching, that's what I'm gonna say about that. If you want to continue that conversation, please do reach out through the inbox and we can continue to talk. But we're not here to ruin marriages. Na Iran buku dai kulo, hey, I nyirka yuta na ko big bay trust me, we have women that are married and they are very successful in their marriage. They feel supported, they pursue their goals, and they have very valuable men that understand that marriage is not end of woman's life. They can still be themselves in marriage. They can still be themselves even if they have children. It doesn't mean you have to devote your entire life to the marriage. There's space for both, right? So about Politan, that's conversation for a different time. But I see Luca internet is not that good, so we're gonna try again. Luca, if you're able, please join us and share a little bit about boundaries. Could say it from the men's side. What are some ways men don't struggle to set boundaries, and when they communicate, like how does that? They also want to learn. So go for it.
Wow, wow. Thank you, Alakir. Thank Lit and also Adish. By the way, the contribution that Alakir and Liz has put here are very important concerning the women boundaries, how they struggle to set boundaries, and why some of them feel guilty or selfish when they are to try to communicate what they need. Mostly, this is not on the women's side that people they are the main people who struggle to set boundaries. Even on the men side, there are a lot of the men who struggle to set their boundaries. Like those who might be like now here in town, you might be under someone's responsibility, and there are things that you want to engage with. You want to do them as individual. You are a grown-up man, and you want to do them. Maybe someone who is supporting you may may disagree with you on that part, and this one will push you to choose one thing, either to lose that relationship with the person who is giving you support, or to lose what you were planning to do. Like for example, some young men nowadays, they might be in a compound, like, and there is a rule put in a place that you should not be out of the compound up to 8. And maybe you are a football lover, you have to do, you want to go and engage with some of your friends. This one can affect you sometime, and you will not be able to comment on it unless if you want to say, like, you want to have a boundaries, you want to set some boundaries to your uncle or someone who is supporting you. Will say, me this time might not food with me well, and I cannot manage to be in the compound at 7. I'm not a child or I'm not a woman. Some people normally say like that. And those who don't want to lose their boundaries, they will say, no, this is not matching well with me. If you say people should be in the compound at 7 or at 8, and I do go and watch football matches or I go and chill with some of my friends, I may not come back until 10 or up to 10:30. And this is another way some men used to struggle with it. And if you push a bit on the issue of what you want to do, and that person did not match well with you, now this become what they will say you are not a good person, and you have to leave my place. So you will choose either to leave your feeling, or you either to leave your need, or you leave you follow what the responsible person say to you. So based on that, there are a lot of the things which many people miss coming to when you are to communicate your need. This is not only on women's side. We normally see like women are the one struggling to set the boundaries, but that one come to a woman or to a lady who does not know their own dream. When you are a young lady, this is modern world, and you are in a relationship, and the person you might be in a relationship with is not up to is not aligning all his activities with your dream. It is better for you to say that this is not how I want to progress and how I want to move on with you. If you are doing it in that way, this one will not match well with me, and it will be very tough. Like what I did said before, if some of your friends want to go out for a dinner with you, and you have got a rough information that you may have test or you may have exam tomorrow, what will you do there? You have to say no, I cannot do that one. This goes back also to our cultures, like Tanko Mwanjing, mostly like when binya jam buwede lwel ko ya ele kenyan rinyin pe ya na wa nyan ko dolgu, lakin that is not the way. uh, it is better kuba kan iremenin balwel, like even though you married to a man, and there is a fighting every time, there is a fighting, even if people sit and talk about it, it will start again 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, or even 1 year. Now even if this marriage has been for 3 or 5 years, you have 2 or 3 kids, and there is no way that you are living in a healthy marriage. What will you do? You have to sit and try to set the boundaries. You tell them, you tell the family of your husband that this is not how I want to progress. And if they did not accept, it is better for you to do what? To leave that marriage. It is very clear you have raised that point. But most important thing here, when you are to set the boundaries, you need to set the boundaries and align them with the dream or the goal that you want to achieve in your life. That is what is very important when you are to set the boundaries. Coming to this part, like communicating our needs without feeling guilty or selfish, this is one of the most important thing. Some people undermine their health or their relationship with someone. For example, even if you are with a family and your family want to even go to the extent of putting you down, you can sit down with them and tell them what you need to do. If like you are working and you are getting little financial support, and all of them also need something from you. You can be very sincere to them. Don't hide. Don't speak up in a way that they will not understand you. But you try to share very important information with them by telling them exactly what you are going through and what you want to do. That will make them to understand when they are to ask for financial support from you. They will ask that financial support within the bracket of what you have shared with them, that this is what I will be giving you as a support, and they should not go beyond. This is another way also, because what you need to do first, you cannot help other people when you have not helped yourself. Even if your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, if you have not managed to help yourself, how will you help other people? So this one, some people fail on that part, and I think this is very important. Based on my own understanding, I think this is a way that you will go together with other people, even if they are your family members. Yeah, thank you. Back to you, Alakir.
Thank you, Luca. And you've given like many practical examples of when to recognize that you need to set boundary and when how to not feel selfish about it, right? Because I think setting boundaries come from a place where you recognize that this relationship is important to me and I want to keep it. And if you don't set that boundary, down the line that relationship will end. So that's the way you don't feel guilty about it. Now, will call relationship the one ngadi a car be a car will continue because it's probably a source of your support. It's something that brings you a lot of joy and it's something you want to continue to participate in, then you should be able to set those boundaries and be like, hey, if we're to continue being friends, I think we need to be able to agree on A, B, C, D, right? Now, can we agree on that? What is the way to work it out? Kujaka nyuj kujaka we talk about it. I know it's easy to say here on live we should do it, but nale ben a relationship kay age real, right? So I hope we'll be able to cover some examples as we go along today. So there is a we'll continue to. I think there's one more question we can address, and then we'll continue with the questions you prepared ahead. Um, so this is Akut again, and she's asking a question I think is very, very important, right? It's very important to talk about. It's not something people openly share, but these are the conversation we have at the U-turn because if we don't talk about it, then somebody's gonna get in a harm, will get harmed. So the question is, if a young girl is in a relationship with a young man in this generation and they need the man needs sex as the most essential element of the relationship, and the young lady want to maintain herself until marriage, but all this is bringing a conflict in the relationship. How do you balance the interests of both the parties? A case in point is that a man really loves you and you love him too, but the incident is about to cause a breakup. How do you go about it to maintain a happy relationship? I don't know if I'm missing something else because it's dot dot dot. I'll just take a look here to be sure. Um, okay, I don't see the question online, but anyway. So the way I look at this situation is just get married, right? The woman is like, I'm fine providing sex as long as we're married. The man is like, okay, I love you and I'm gonna marry you for sure. Get married. Problem solved. That's the easy answer. Um, the 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 more complex answer is there is a bit of I would say a transactional you know, requirement in this relationship. And I think it's coming from both sides. So the woman is like, if you want sex, then you will marry me first. Where the man is like, if you love me, you give me sex, and then I will marry you. And it's just, I think it's never ending. It's never ending conversation. Um, it's never ending conversation if you go back and forth like that. What I would say is the from the very beginning, right, of the relationship, you have to sit down and say, what are the expectations? What do you expect is going to happen in this relationship? Nyoj ka piny ko jam ka kulele, "Hey, this is what I need to be able to be in relationship with you. Be much express your ngokor for this relationship to continue. Abinyalo express your ngokor for this relationship to continue. And if you're able to agree this is how the relationship is gonna work from now on, then kala tuenga piet. Lakini misunderstanding it Ben because people don't really talk about what they want. People like to pretend they want the same thing until they realize they have locked themselves into a situation that they don't like. So say Nyantina thinks she wants marriage, right? Maybe this man doesn't even want marriage. I'm just saying hypothetically. What their end goal is to have sex with the girl. And the man is agreeing to the point where they get the sex and then they leave a relationship. And that's a typical situation that happens. Now, and there's no way to know until it happened and then they leave and you're left heartbroken, blah blah blah. um from the get-go, I think it's best to set a timeline. Yantina can say, okay, I want to get to know you. Give me this much time to be able to give you a proper response, right? To your whatever you need. How much time do you need? And if this man agree to the time that they need to respond, give him that time, right? If this woman is like, absolutely not, I have to wait until Bay and Thiak. So if you're not ready to give over the cows and make this official as a marriage, then this is the end. Then you end it and move on, right? It's done, not complicated. If this man is like, oh, if you can't give me what I need, I'm not gonna marry you, then obviously they have to move on and find it somewhere else. What I think usually happens is people come into relationship knowing exactly who the other party is. You mean better relationship this man does this in a loy in relationships, and if really what they say that, oh, I tell you in sex I will marry you, if that was true, this man would already been married, right? Because I keep one relationship with you, okay, a virgin, right? They've used this trick on other women and they have not married those women. So girls will like to think they are special. Oh, I don't think he would do this to me because he say A, B, C, D. What people say doesn't matter. What they do is what matters. What do they do? And I just been on include, oh, now look but yeah, I'll do what you say, but yeah, and I will, right? And see how fast they run. It's that easy. And that doesn't mean you will not meet someone else that actually share the same goals and intention with you. So I would say, yeah, yeah, relationship minding nyanti no advice from the get go and actually write down. If you have a paper, you write down what you want from the relationship. They write down what they want from the relationship. You share notes, and if this is something you agree on, you continue the relationship. If you don't agree with it, you end the relationship, right? But Ayanyantin, who has fear that they will never find someone like this man, it's not true. There's so many men out there, great men, good looking. You don't really get this is a romantic thing and we're all the one or the two. It's not true. There's always someone else that is willing and able to give you more love, more attention, and meet your needs. So, but until you're unsuccessful in that field, coach go ka tiak. So again, I would say you wacha pin gonna run tiak, kujama kan yen. What did they do? Tiak, right? You may like it, you may not like it, but um if it's a venture you're interested in, you have to do the research and find out exactly what people give up to be in that successful marriage. Yeah. Anyway, what are your thoughts? How would you advise this young girl or young man?
Hi, and thank you, Lakir. You have really talked about it, and well, that is what I just wanted to do. You see, sometimes in our society, such kind of topics, you will see that it's hardly being spoken by ladies who are not married, because when you speak what is in your mind, they believe that that is what you are doing and all the other things. But we are changing the narrative of such kind of beliefs and behaviors. So you see, this is one of the things that has been affecting a lot of girls down there, because most of them, like especially like in South Sudan back there, it's very hard to get mentorship and such kind of things. A lot of girls, they need to learn about them when they are mentored, like someone elder talking to them and all this. They will know how to deal with such kind of things. But some of like people like us now, we have grown up, we read, we also see how things should be done. We have attended some, we talk to some of the people who are ahead of us, and we really saw. You see, it just came to my mind that these things, it happened to one of my friends recently. Actually, she was my junior, but the things, the same case like what she said, it happened to her. So when this lady was going through all these things, posting a lot and all this, so when I just reached out to her, she told me what happened. So when I was saying this is really lack of mentorship, I saw that it was lack of mentorship. First of all, when someone asks you, there's a question that we should know. Someone is asking you if that question, if when you see Tom Koi to where those who are church people, when Satan was about to tempt it, Yeshua, in when you read the Bible in the Messiah, it said that if you are a son of God, that one is temptation. So when someone, Satan knows that Jesus Christ is a son of God, and is again asking that if you are a son of God, you see the word if there. So it's the same thing. Someone is asking you, do you love me? Imagine. And that person knows that you people are in love. What was that name of things you are doing? You are in love, and that's why you are dating each other, you see. But there are some of the things that should be practiced in a relationship, and other things that should not be practiced. So when someone is, the priority that person has is to have sex with you, that means that one is not a relationship. The person is just coming for emotion. So if you need emotional support, you should have just said earlier that me, I need emotional support, and this is what I want. It's not a love. So why do you rush? So the real man cannot ask you for you to have sex, and if you don't have, you have to break up. For what reason? Yes, you can just break up. And most of the time, you just depend on a man, because you know that when you say that no, you will not get any of the amount of dollar. Maybe the man was giving you a lot of things, taking care of your life, and you see those things. That means you have to do what is said, because you are dependent on him. So these are some of the things, and this is where it is good that when you think, okay, whenever you are at home, you need to do something, even if what you do in your heart, "Chalaba kit malaya," that one you make for someone, have some skills, so that you buy for you, solve your personal needs. But the end of watching or you read the other things, so that you don't depend on any man. A man take advantage because it's responsible for you, wanted to have whatever things that kill will by happening, because you are not dependent. You are not independent. You are just depending on him. So what come there? So I would just say that that relationship, please just quit it. It's just waste of your time, unless otherwise maybe you have decided to do it. But if in case that you wanted to please a man, that yes, I will do that one, so that I will that this is where I will have him back and all this. That such kind of man, I check you will never maintain such kind of people who will start this speech with if. Don't stay with them. So someone will even ask you, do you love me? Why would you ask that question? If you, no, it's very wrong. So we just need that to know ourselves, believe in yourself, that if you leave that man, you can still get another man. He was not a right man for you. It has just shown to you that he's not a right man. Just leave, my sister. I advise that sister of yours to just quit that relationship. That is what I can just thank you.
Thank
My
you.
internet is a bit not okay, and
Mm,
I'm really very glad and excited that people in the comment section are also sharing their views. But like here to comment on that, I listen some, I hear some part from Lead Job, and the most important thing is the question which was being asked by Akut. I hope a man who have a dream or who have a mission and vision that he is up to in life cannot bother to ask such a question, and then add also on top of the question or on top of the request that if you cannot do that one for me, then it is better for us to break up. This is not all about relationship. A man who have a mission and vision mostly first try to understand the person that he is dating. Like when it comes to dating, you cannot be able to date anyone if you are a man who have a mission and vision that you are up to. Because dating anyhow, you may fall in the wrong hand of someone who may not be come and support your dream. And woman is to support a man in whatever they are to do together. And you as a man, you back up your wife or your girlfriend to move on together. Why I even jump in and took took it on my own to comment, it is because there are some men are very difficult. Like what my brother has is very true. There are some men who want to have sex, mostly with any lady that they date, but that is not that one does not lead them to marry that lady in later on. It is just the trick, like what Alakir said before. It is a trick that some people use to cover up whatever they want to do, or to finish a lady that they see is very tough on them. So this is not important, and this I have to say mostly to the lady outside there who might be listening. If you have such a boyfriend, my sister, you find a way to go and look for another one. You don't have a husband, because the one you see as a boyfriend is to become a husband tomorrow. But if you don't evaluate him, you don't do any evaluation, you don't study him very well, you will end up having a full container who is not about anything, about the way to he's running. It is not a tall man or someone who is a giant or having money is a man. There are some men who don't have money, but they have ideas, and idea is very powerful than money. So if you leave yourself to be or to be overtaken, like to just give your body to a man who have money because he's always giving you money, like what Liz said, if you do something small at home and you buy yourself your own needs, basic need, you will not allow such a man to trick you in that way. So I can say this is very important, but mostly there are those men who are few who study a lady, and then also even though they stay for 2 3 4 years, he cannot ask a lady like, I want to have sex with you, because he has a mission and a vision that he is running up to. The same thing goes also to some ladies. They question a lot. They ask a lot of questions when you say such a word. You tell them that I want to have sex with you. They will ask a lot of questions. Such ladies are the ladies who knows their dream, what they want to achieve in life. So the best thing is to understand your man, your boyfriend, whom you call a boyfriend. If you do not understand them very well, you may end up marrying someone who is full of container. He's not having anything in his mind. So this is what I want to comment on that. Thank you. Back to you, Alakir.
Thank you, Luca. Thank you. And I agree with both of you that it's let sharing that this temptation of asking people if um is just some bullshit. And if you're a young girl and you're in this situation, please leave. This is not the person for you, and they don't really like you. They hate you. And then for Luca to say, like, only person with no self-respect will do this. If they already know you are a woman who is waiting for marriage, and they say, "Oh, if you don't do this for me, I will not marry you." You know, they would have been married by now if that is something they would have done after having sex with a girl. So we just move on and say, you know what? I don't think I can do this for you. Bye. And if they really want to prove themselves that they were gonna marry you anyways, then tell them to go home and give cows and marry you, and then have a proper relationship with them. Another angle that we haven't talked about is the cultural way of waiting until marriage is still there. Some people, some women maybe not want to wait until marriage, and what I can say is be safe, right? There's no 100% sure way of telling that this person doesn't go having sex with other people. So be very safe. Know how to practice it safely. Know how to take care of yourself. Know how to ask the right question so you don't end up getting a disease that could end your life or your goals. For the longest time, I think women have been raised to dream about marriage. Marriage is the dream. And men know this is the dream, so they will exploit. So if a woman doesn't value marriage, then they will not be pressured to have sex with a man just because Chikalue promise a being tiak, right? So what I encourage girls to do is have a dream outside of, having a family and having marriage, and that will really help you. Achi inchi beloy, people will not hold you ransom because they promise you I jong carrot and stick. They dangle marriage in your face. Oh, in batiak na loy kana na loy kana. If it's a condition of marriage, imagine being in a relationship with that person for the rest of your life. Rana when you demand things, oh loy kana for me, and I will do this for you. Right off the bat is a transactional relationship, and I don't think it's the best way to approach it. So, planning your own dreams that are not just the meet by, then keen and leverage. The below, you know what? I really don't care about this marriage. I am working on my own personal goals and dreams right now. So down the line, I'll look at you and we're still having the same goals, perhaps. If not, you know what? You're free to go out and find someone else that can fulfill your need and release that person. Because when you're not fulfilling their need, they will resent you in the long term. So choge chalo bikakor ke bikalayi, right? Is what I would say. Um, I see a comment from our fellow U-turn member Monica. Can one change a grown-up man, especially in a scenario where there are differences? No, you cannot change a grown man. That is the job of their parent. If the parent has not taught them uh, who they are or who they can be or what it means to be a man, then you cannot change them. Let them go. That's what I would say. You cannot change a grown person. If they want to change, they will change if they want. And another question here, is it a question or somebody responding to Akut? I don't understand the question, but first we'll move on to the next question here. We'll come back to Dengaro, but Deng was responding to Akut, so hopefully they can agree in the comment. The question here is how can someone maintain their identity, goals, and friendships while building a strong romantic relationship or marriage? So this is why we talked about boundaries a lot, right? If you don't build your boundaries, if you don't have those boundaries, if you go into a relationship as this is your dream, right? It's easy to lose yourself. And what if that relationship ends? That's how you see people having mental health issues after a breakup or a divorce. And I would say defining your who you are, like yun nga, outside of marriage, outside of family, outside of being a parent, outside of being, in a relationship, in a romantic relationship, it really helps, right? Barangi yun nga kana. And what are your goals? If your goal is being tiak, achieving tiak, you will feel lost right after because achin dang judong, right? What will you live your life for after chinin tiak? Because you've been dreaming of this day your entire life. Now in tiak, then what? Right? And that's why it's good to set goals for specific stages of life. Na to what do you want to achieve at this time in your life? Na chi what do you want to achieve at this time of your life? And what do you want to achieve outside of that? You show up, especially women. I would say we have different I would say different identities. The way you show up kinetic, the way you show up in parent to your family, the way you show up to your children, the way you show up to your in-laws is very different and it's very time consuming. So you need to be able to pick and prioritize your movement on your priority list. We have infinite and we have finite energy to spend, right? So you cannot be going all in on one thing and expect to have personal growth. No, you have to carve out time for yourself. I would say, Kira Loikin, Nachi, you define yourself in a parent, or you define yourself I don't know, mother or wife or daughter-in-law, and you don't take time for yourself. So, for example, um, in Jitiak, how you spend your day from morning to evening, is there time for yourself, right? Let's say in your books, can you carve out some time for you to spend with yourself being quinnable? Let's say you're a person who like to go for walks. Can you carve out some time to spend with yourself? And that time you spend with yourself is what builds your sense of identity outside of, relationship, outside of friendship, outside of, other things that define you. Um, Again, being in a romantic relationship doesn't mean you abandon your other friendships. Have time to go out with your girls. If you're a man, have time to go out with your friends. And I don't think men struggle with that. It's women always losing themselves in a romantic relationship because somehow they feel they have to give it their 100%. No, you don't have to do that. So that's what I can share on that. Again, I'm really struggling here to set a good example because it's not who I am. But always how you spend your day and your time will really inform if you Iran lose in a relationship or in a marriage or Iran winning your own goals outside of, marriage, wife duties, mother duties, daughter-in-law duties, daughter duties to your parents, um, and a friendship. So I'll open it up to everybody. Um, if you're not in a marriage, use your imagination. What can you do to maintain your sense of identity and your sense of yourself? If you're watching online, please do leave your reflections and questions in the comments, and we'll address them as we go. Please, take it away.
Thank you, Alakir. You have answered the question. You have really break it down such a way that people can understand. And before I answer this question, let me just say one thing about the question Anon has before down there. I did not check it back, but if I could remember, she said that something like, could you continue with someone in a relationship where you have differences? I think, or something of that kind. Can someone change a grown-up man's feelings or emotions without losing his personality?
Think we lost Lit.
Maybe, yeah, network is not okay.
Okay.
I don't know what
Yeah,
is wrong with the network.
I think it's the network. Maybe if I turn off my camera. Okay.
Well, even I tried that one, and I'm still not getting right. I'm getting out, log out. I'm coming back. I'm getting log out.
I know
Now
it's
even
happening, but we are gonna have this conversation regardless of all the obstacles. So I really appreciate your resilience, the U-turn members, for trying your best to show up, even if the internet is not the
I
best
think
wherever we live.
yeah. I
Yeah.
even came to realize maybe on my side it is because I'm not using computer or what is problem because here I'm using Wi-Fi fully and it is
Mm-hmm.
still locking out abruptly just like that. I don't understand. So here, uh,
Mm-hmm.
based on what Monica said, there is no way that you can change a grown-up man in the scenario when you have differences. But what you can do, you can suggest the thing that will make you to align your dream together or to be together. You can give a suggestion on what he is supposed to do if like in a relationship your boyfriend might be somebody who disagree mostly with you. Then what you can do first is to suggest the way you will solve your differences, and which cannot allow you to have any problem in the relationship later. And you should not keep quiet until when those differences take you until you become a husband and wife. Don't keep quiet. You talk and find a way to handle that one. Based on coming to the point of identity, uh, when you want to, like you are a married man or a woman who is already in a relationship, For example, to maintain your identity and goals that you want to achieve in life, you want to build up. Marriage, first of all, is not a goal that you can set to yourself. This is one thing that I can tell anyone. Marriage is not a goal. It's a part of the thing that you want to do, but it's not a goal itself. To any lady or a man who may think that now after I left university or after I finish high school or as I'm working class, I have to set up a goal to do, and that goal is to get married. You may end up losing a lot of things. Don't make marriage like to be the important goal for you. Let the marriage come as you are up to all the goal of or the dream of your life that you want to achieve. When you have that thing, this one come in with identity. Identity, what will prove that you as individual you are this person. Even if you get married and you remain stayed forward to your identity, there is nowhere as any challenges that will face you in marriage will overcome you later or in a strong relationship, romantic relationship. If you know your identity, you know who you are. For example, to me now, when uh, when I was still in the university, the one I call my wife that I'm with when we were dating back, there are some of the things I don't like to do or to talk mostly with her when I'm still in the university. Like to talk about marriage. I did not brought that one up when I was still in the university and we were dating. I even told her this relationship, let us take it into our heart and don't mind getting married later on, so that we should not be rushing ourselves. And this became true 2023 after I left university and we got married. She even said what you were saying. I did not believe when you were saying that after university, if you want to talk about marriage, we can talk about it. I told her this is my identity. I don't want to talk about what I want to do later on because it is something obvious to you as a man that you are dating, even though you spend 20 years, 30 years together. It is something obvious to you as a man that you are dating this person.
Oh, I think we lost Luca. Yeah.
I think
So the question Monica was posing is can you change a grown up man, especially in a scenario where they are different? There are differences. Sorry.
yeah, sure. That's what I was just wanted to answer in a short way, but the network kicked me off. So what I can just say is that we have different characters. In most cases, even as I said before, when you are born at home, you have different characters, and you can even refuse to. If people were to marry their own brothers and sisters, there is that one child or one sibling that you would refuse to marry because of the characters that person possesses. So what happened is that you see the characters of that person and then what you have, and you see what you can compromise. But where you see that there is no compromise between the two of you, I think that relationship cannot move forward. So you will never change someone who is grown up person. It will never happen in any world. So what you just need to do is that you compromise the one that you think that you can tolerate. It is just about tolerating someone, according to what I have seen in most cases in the life. So you have to tolerate someone and you move ahead with the life. If you think that you cannot tolerate that person, you will not change. And when you see that, put in your mind that you will change someone, this is where you see that people have had heartbreak, because heartbreak comes when you have expectation. You expected something, that you need to have something, but you cannot get it, that one that you wanted to have. See, so I can just say that it's very hard to change someone. Just get the one whom you think that your characters you can compromises, or you can tolerate yourself, and life still goes, and we'll still learn. Maybe one day we'll have someone who is married here and we'll address that scenario in a good way. So moving to our next question, which was about how can someone maintain their identity, goals, and friendship while building a strong romantic relationship or marriage? So what I can just say there is that in this scenario, there are some people when they're in a relationship, they will think that they have got everything in life. And this one is mostly applied to those who their mind are not prepared for maybe for relationship or marriage. They don't know what it is. Because you will not say that, how can you tell you someone that you can leave the school if you don't leave the school and be married and I marry you, then mean you don't love me. That one, most cases, it happen. You see, you have to lose what you have. You have to leave your identity. You leave your own goals and you continue with what someone have told you. Because if someone really loves you, that person have to support your goals, your future, and you people grow together. So maintaining having a healthy relationship, or you maintain your identity is where that you people understand yourself and you really know what you want to achieve in life. You build yourself together. There's no way that a man would be like, now, since I'm the head of the family and I have done a lot of things, you cannot go and do anything. You see, there are sometimes when which year Louis lon government J1 benen dollar benen gatawa account. There's a day that money will get finished. And for you who think that your whole life is on that man, you will suffer at the end of the day because the world is unpredictable. Circumstance comes. How about if the thief break in and everything is lost? You see, so there are uncertainties in life, so that we need to maintain our identity, goals, that friendship is good. You need to be friend to each other so that you share your ideas and you feel your future how it will look like, but not that one should be disadvantaged, one should be dependent on each other. That one will never make any good relationship or romantic. Being romantic doesn't mean that you should accept everything that is said. That one doesn't work that way. So people should need to refine what it means to be romantic. It is like it has been taken the same way people took the word slay, the slay queen. Now, whenever you see someone is beautiful, wearing a lot of things, and the hair is nice, hey, is a slay queen, you see, and they really don't know what to mean to be a slay queen. So they take it in a bad way. The same thing, when someone say like that, I can look at you, I you really look beautiful, and
I think we lost Lit. As we wait for Lit to come back, I really like what she was expressing about misunderstanding around romantic relationship, and that it has to be your whole identity. No, it doesn't. It's a big mistake to make it your whole identity. You have to maintain your friendships. You can't expect all your needs for socializing to be from one person.
yes, the
So
thing
make sure
about
you keep your friends. Hi, Lit, are you back? Sorry, we lost you
yes,
there.
I don't know. My network is so boring. I don't know. Thank you
Yeah.
for picking up. So let me just wrap up and I finish that.
Okay.
So what I just want to add is that we need to define some words and we see how it should be applied. So when someone say that a romantic relationship, it doesn't mean what you think, what your that mind has been to. So let's really define the words and we make a U-turn about those words. They are not according to what you think that people have been preaching. We are in the school. You go out on internet, read. What does that word really mean? Does it mean what people talk about? Those days they say that when you go to school, your girl is spoiled. Is it the same case today? No, because you have to redefine what it means to be in the school as a girl. It's very different today. They'll be like those girls who go to school, they are now the prostitute, I have gay and all these things. But that is not the case. When someone say like that, I can even look at you. Are you really? Do you have sense? Hey, you are struggling here with the school, and someone is telling you that there is another way you can go to, you see. So people should have to redefine what they have in their mind. They should get how it should be applied. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's make the U-turn and redefine what it means to have a romantic relationship. And Yeah, I agree. People have a hard time looking at women more than their physical body. Women are intelligent, they're smart, they are scientists, and going to school help them achieve their personal goal. And everyone is stuck in their mind thinking, oh, they're just there to look for men. Like seriously, men are everywhere. You don't have to go to school to find them, right? They are in the community loitering around. You can find them there. So yeah, so maintaining your identity is that important, right? Because once if you put your a child putting all your eggs in one basket, and if that basket drop, that's it, you're done for. So I name goals in Iran ba name whatever you want to do with your life involve other things beside marriage and having kids. I think it's good for you for your health in the long term compared to just narrowing your mind into one thing, right? Because the world doesn't respond well to desperation. You become off as desperate to be in a marriage or whatever. And that's where situation and when Yakud Yellow share men start making demands because they know this is what you want and they dangle a carrot in front of you. Oh, now loikana, I'll give you what you want. No, they're not. They're not gonna give you what you want. You have to go and get what you want. And what you want has to be different things. It should not be one thing. Because na itong kayin lui fall into desperation trap. So thank you, Lit, for sharing that. I know internet is really bad and we've gone over time, but I feel like we can address one more question before we close. And that is, what are some signs of toxic, you know, what are some signs of toxic or unhealthy relationship dynamic? And what makes it difficult for people to walk away even if they recognize them? We talk about healthy relationships. I think it's best to give it a shot and talk about unhealthy relationship or toxic relationships, right? And even if we recognize they are toxic, sometimes it's difficult to walk away. And I would say that most of the time, we mentioned it briefly, most of the time the women are always blamed for failure in relationships. So they would hold on to this idea of having the status that into in a relationship or into gonna you haven't date a lot of women, a lot of men because each could be and or we jump around in relationship or blah blah blah. But honestly, the toxic relationship, I think is worse for you. You have to evaluate that for yourself and sit with your own belief and unlearn what society has taught you about relationships, right? And choose something that is good for you. Now, down the line, when you become like most of these things don't matter. Down the line, you become 80 years old or 90 or 70. What would you really think will matter for you and your life? Yung ba kwen ke kapiat chaloy rotor, kapiat chaloy period. These small relationship probably don't matter and it's good to just move on. So I will let you go first and then I will make a comment.
Thank you so much. The question is nice, but I think some people who are there under the comment, you people comment positively, so you know more about the topic. But yeah, give us this time and let's all learn together. So when you see some of the common sign in a relationship, as we have talked about relationships since then, so you see that one thing you should know is that every time people have to control yourself. Not every relationship that should apply, but when you see that when you want to do something, someone have to be like after you every time. So why would you control someone? That one is unhealthy. It means that there is lack of trust in that relationship. You don't trust each other. You see, and it was recently one of my tea was saying that you people you like having the contacts, I mean the passwords of your girlfriends and the boyfriend, all these things. And this is against the internet rules. You see, why would you have to control someone? You have to see the privacy of somebody. If that person doesn't want you, you let that person just move on. Why would you have to protect someone? You cannot protect someone who does not want to stay with you. So it's a one sign that that one is not healthy. You cannot do what you want to do freely. You have to be under control of someone. It means that that one is already unhealthy for you. There will be lack of respect. Someone will just throw some word to you without respecting you. That one is so toxic. Every time you see Rana dear, you behave like Ningra whatever thing. And it's kind of a relationship. Man randang, man di thing randang, you come and give you a lot of stress. Why would you do that? That one is so toxic. Even if you go that to that home or you go, that one will even make it to be maybe you marry yourself by God grace. We will still break up because that family, that is a divorce already. You are not understanding each other. There's something I said before. If you don't tolerate each other, it is a matter of tolerating the characters of someone for you to be in that relationship. If you think that you cannot tolerate, just move away. You will never tolerate them. You cannot tolerate for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. How will you tolerate for the rest of your life? You see, so toxic relationship, we see them, but we just keep pushing that that person will change, hoping. When you hope for something, that thing you hope is what will even give you heartbreak because you expected that the person would change. And that person is not changing. And the more you see, sometimes around it becomes with a lot of things. Dear, and the person is not honest to you. There is dishonesty. That one is so toxic. So you have to be free. Someone have to say the mind, what you wanted to say. You share ideas and you see what the way forward. I'm not saying that there's no relationship without issues. Yes, you can have, but how does it come to solution? How does it be resolved until you people be together again? So if things just like the relationship will go and end with if you don't do this, if you don't, what bring if there? The if clause there to mean that you people are trying yourself, you are putting yourself in temptation, and nothing will work out. It's just all that you are tempting yourself. It's so toxic for you. So what I can just say is that let's revise the relationship that we are having. And when you see some of this sign with someone will even doubt you, that will call and be like, where did you go? And all these things. And you have a lot of things, even if you are a house girl or what at home. You have time to cook. How about you are cooking? You just call. If that person has not called, has not whatever pick the phone, you will still come and call back later. But you cannot question someone. Controlling someone, it means that that one is so toxic. You have to be free. And that is what I can say about it. It is like there's a question under it there. The the materialistic dependency on a relationship makes it harder to move on. The high time everyone know their values and capabilities, the better for a better success rate. Okay, I think that this was a comment, and yeah, actually, I appreciate that comment. So that is what I can say about the toxic relationship.
Absolutely, absolutely. Honesty. I tell you, honesty. Like if people can be honest with each other, and that's the one thing I think is lacking, where you know, romantic relationship is this thing where people try to impress each other and they go as far as being dishonest, hiding their intentions, and you know, things like that. So if there's no honesty in that relationship, people cannot express themselves and still be able to work out any disagreement, then it is toxic. Because by actual jam and you're always thinking, oh, if I say this, they are going to leave or they're gonna get angry. You know, you find yourself in around when the mood of the relationship we manage, that's definitely toxic, right? Um, uh, uh, Somebody in the comments is saying the materialistic dependency on a relationship makes it harder to move on. It's high time everyone know their value and capabilities. So if a relationship is turning into a, you know, resource dependent, right? If say Juliana is always the one asking for stuff from you, it start to feel like they only want you for the money. Probably is a toxic relationship. There is for sure people can be in need and can rely on each other from time to time. But if it start to feel like, hey, it's just because of the money this relationship is happening, it's probably toxic, right? So it's best to move on. um Controlling, and we're all here learning, right? Doesn't mean everybody who's talking about relationship is perfect and has amazing relationships. No, we're all learning together. And that controlling aspect where someone has to ask for permission to go out, right? Or ask for permission to hang out with their friends. Probably not a healthy relationship. It's probably a toxic relationship. um So you need to be able to see those signs that make you uncomfortable in a relationship. And then you need to sit with yourself and say, do I want to keep living this way for the next, 5 to 10 years, or I don't know, to be with this person forever? And trust me, if things are not working out, que we're taught at the early stage, it's only gonna get worse. That's what I'm trying to say. Relationships start off as amazing. Um, I don't know, probably because of people trying to impress each other. But why would you want to be with somebody when they only present what you like? You want to know them for who they are. And then, like Lit was saying, if you can tolerate them as who they are at their worst, right? Then are successful. I know a lot of people approach relationship as in, do we like the same things? But I think another radical way to look at it is, do we hate the same things, right? What are some things I don't like? And if this person also doesn't like those things, I think we're more aligned than people when we like the same things. For example, um, you are in a relationship, say that the other person loves, I don't know, basketball. You don't necessarily need to love basketball to be with them, right? But if, say, you value, human rights. You believe humans deserve, basic needs. Doesn't matter where they come from, and the other person is on the same page, then it makes it easy to be in a relationship. But if they're like, oh, I don't think human right is a good thing, a lot of people go around saying human right and women and feminism and so negative about many things. If you don't agree on things you don't like, I feel like that's a better test for a relationship than when you agree on things you like. So be able to sit with things that are uncomfortable, discuss things that are, you don't like. And if they also agree they don't like them, I feel like you can be on the same page rather than things you both like, right? And I'm not talking about superficial stuff. I'm talking about values. What are some values you agree on? What are some non-negotiable you have to write down? And I don't like when people lie to me. And then you have to stand on business. That's boundary. First sign of lying, be like, okay, bye. Because if you say, I don't like people when they lie, and then you keep forgiving lies, then you really are being hypocritical. So just say what you like, and then, but you know, relationship are not that straightforward, so I can't really give a script on how it can go, but you can always use your intuition. You can always remember what we talked here and then bring them to your conversation, bring them to your relationship. um Deborah is sharing in the comment. Thank you, Deborah. A relationship that is based on others' perceptions won't last. Most of our relationships are based on what the society says or think. Yes, this is very important when we are measuring our relationship against somebody else's relationship. And we see this a lot with social media, right? Oh, so and so has posted their partner. Why don't you post me? I think women have that problem, always trying to start problem where there is none. Oh, now so and so bought their so and so iPhone. Why don't you buy me? You have to be able to compare capabilities. Is this person you're asking them for something? Are they able to give it to you? And question number one: Togane cake, Jan Kanga Ben out of thin air. Do they have it? If they don't have it, then you're being unreasonable. And if you are the person being demanded in that relationship, I think it's about time to move on and be like, hey, since I cannot meet your needs, I will leave you to go find someone else that can do that and gracefully call it quit. So when you are going on social media, looking at that highlight of someone's relationship and think, oh, my relationship is not good because we don't have that. you're always going to be dissatisfied with your own relationship. And that's bringing toxic dynamic by always looking for things that are lacking. If you go looking for something, you will find it. And if you're looking for things that are lacking in your relationship, you will find them. Right? So always this comparing back and forth. Ngadi achu kursi, watching in kursi, right? So and so has posted their girlfriend. You have not posted me. Kachir kaka, right? If you're that is your top priority in relationship is non-negotiable, that if I date this man, they have to post me, then I think you are well in your right. But na ye kalo atinga chira nang loy ku jola bay ku lelo oh yung chine na loy la. I feel like it's just kaja ekari ni and you're probably giving Winarandang a hard time. Um, another thing that Deborah has mentioned is relationship based. Okay, I think it's the same thing based on other people perception. But them and it has to go way back. You in core relationship because you really want to be in a relationship and do the work. It's not easy to be in the relationship. Or do you just want to talk to your friends about it and brag, oh, my boyfriend does this for me, blah blah blah. I think you need to be very honest with yourself, right? Or I much, oh, I have this girl, she's beautiful and she's my girlfriend. Well, you brag to your bros. I don't think it's a good intention. You have to set a goal. You look at a relationship to begin with, and then you work your way backwards. This is the goal. Okay, does this person have the same goal, right? Can we work together towards this goal? And I was hoping Rhoda will be here today because she's really good at giving those kinds of advice. But unfortunately, she is traveling in on air. But if you have those questions, feel free to ask us through a direct message. We always respond to questions in the DM. So I think that's what we talked about toxic relationship. Control. They're always controlling. I would say something that a lot of people also talked about. I want to emphasize is um the the I don't know, the atmosphere. Relationship feel like exhausting. All the time you are fighting. All the time you're not agreeing on things. All the time you don't feel supported. Then are probably about time to move on because relationship is where you're supposed to relax, right? Let your air down. Will kawajat ku ba mishkala ku ba ke share and get help and things like that. But na chin to lui road kale ba Paul, right? So I will now there was one more question, but I think we're late. I will just paste it so we can address it with our U-turn message. Lit, are you still there? Hello?
Yes, sure. I'm there.
Okay. I'll paste this question. Baja mat can you U-turn message? Kubuku jalu wrap up because it's almost 2 hours at this point. This is the question. What personal growth or healing is necessary for us to build healthier relationship with others and with ourselves? So Bajalu address and then with your U-turn message. And if you're watching, please leave your U-turn message. What have you learned? What are you gonna change from now on? And yeah, thank you for joining.
Okay, thank you, Alakir, and you have really put in something that was very important influence in the recent question that you have answered, and I appreciate that. So, according to this question, what I can just say is that before you look for a relationship, you need to have a relationship with yourself, because building a relationship with yourself, understand your mind and what you really need, it will make you to have a healthy relationship because you already set your goals, what you need and what you should do and what you should not do. So if we have those things in mind, we will have a healthy relationship, and you will not have a lot of things that will break you down or what, because you comes when you are prepared. About friendship, well, our show of about friendship, we really talk about all these things, how to have friends. So getting a friend is not much different of getting someone who will be in a relationship with you. Because when you get a friend, it's someone that understands you, and you people also have to discuss things, and it help that person help you. The same thing, if you wanted to get someone that will be in a relationship with you, we will have to develop yourself together, and you go forward. That relationship will be it will be healthier than what you will think of. So let us have a relationship within ourselves before we forward it to others. And my last return message to everyone who's listening around there is that we should know that people are different. As Alakir said before, don't compare yourself with someone. That was a very strong message that you people should take. Don't compare yourself. Your relationship, the way it is moving, should not be the same way someone relationship also moving. There are some relationship we see that someone doesn't have much to do, but they are happy because they understand them. So they don't want to compare themselves with other people. So you see that maybe your relationship, you don't get gifts, you don't get money, you don't get what. But that is not what it's supposed to be. Why should you expect something? You are building something. So you don't expect something in a relationship. So let's just know what we need, and we meet the people that also meet our needs, and we move together. And that is what the life is all about. We get someone that we can tolerate our characters together, and we compromise, and we move on. Let's not compare ourselves. So some people would think that if you are really in a good relationship, you see your pictures around everywhere and all this, that one is not love. Just that people wanted to do some advertisement and other things. So I'm not saying that you should not post someone you love and all these things, but that one should not base what the love is all about. Love is different from all these things. So understanding matters a lot in a relationship, and we need to get some people that help us to grow professionally and our goals together, and we achieve things in the future. That is my U-turn message to all of you.
Thank you, Lita. What a way to wrap it up. Like, you should not always compare yourself or your relationship with other people. And then first, you have to grow as a person. Determine what your journey, the growth your journey is, and then find a person who's also going on the same journey. I think it's easier that way. So if you want the same long-term goals, you'll be able to get there. If you want the emotional support, find someone called being an emotional support, or also want to get emotional support, and then or physical support, whatever that is. Just make sure it's that you guys want the same thing. I think a lot of relationship issues come from deception, people pretending to be who they are not, and that is not helping in any way. If you are not able to give the person in your relationship what they want, please release them. All right, let them go and let them find exactly what they want, right? Instead of being together, dissatisfied, angry at each other, and then resentment build on. That's the most kind thing you can do as a person to others. Just, you know what? I cannot make you happy in this way, so go ahead, right? So the question, yeah, the personal growth and healing. So a lot of women, I think, have experienced this issue of looking at relationship as something that can always lead to marriage, but that's not the case. Most of the time, she be out here, and that hurt, that heartbreak, they carry it with them, into new relationship, and that might not work in your favor. So I would say take time to heal, take time to really redefine what relationships are for. You get to define what the goal of the relationship is. You get to define what whether to live the expectation of society, but oh, it can bad, yeah, again, it is only that I'm gonna be in a relationship, or you want a relationship where you are supporting, or you're learning, or someone support your personal growth. Doesn't matter if they're there forever or they're there temporarily. You get to define that and make peace with it, right? It may not be what everyone wants, but it's exactly what you want. And then communicate that clearly. That way, it reduces disappointment. It reduces having too much expectations where you haven't communicated those expectations, and then when it doesn't work out at all, until we're let down, until we're heartbreak. Did you tell them what exactly you wanted to begin with? Maybe not. Or did you just go there and hope, maybe they want the same thing? They rarely do. Trust me. So from the get-go, tell them exactly what you want. They don't want it. You're like, okay, let's move on. If it's the same thing they want, okay, how can we get there? Right? And yeah, so always have your own person, be an individual before putting others, and put yourself first. And in goal dunta, and this relationship is undermining where you're going, it's time to let it go. So I hope that really put in perspective. And that's the U-turn. So Iran core relationship, please go watch this video from the beginning. We have a YouTube channel where you can watch the whole thing. We don't put ads in it yet, so you can watch from the whole thing for 2 hours. And when you have thoughts or you have questions, keep putting them in the comments. We always come back and respond to them. If you have other questions you are afraid to share publicly, put them in the direct message and we'll be able to respond. If you think this conversation needs to be revisited and there's another topic that you have in mind, or we're always looking for the suggestion, and we are here on U-Turn to have bold conversation. Things we don't talk about on the day-to-day basis, we will talk about it here because there has to be a place where we share uncomfortable things, right? Where we talk about, relationship boundaries, and wouldn't, most of us don't have the privilege to be taught. So you don't have enough time with your parents and guardians to teach you these things. So that's why we gather here and try to share notes. Okay, how did so and so experience it? How can I learn from so and so? And I've learned today so much from from Luca, from Adich, and from our members in the comment section. So yeah, and I hope you've taken away something you can learn. So go ahead and sit down and reassess your relationship. Is it working towards your goal? Is it undermining your goals? Does it make you uncomfortable? Does it drain your energy? Does it energize you? Those are a few ways to assess your relationship and then be able to make a decision. And always reach out and talk to people if you're not sure what to do. Thank you. And thank you, Lith. I will now close it. Okay, bye. See you on Saturday again.
As we come to the end of this conversation, I just want to take a moment to remind you that the growth doesn't happen without taking a new direction. So if there is a message that has given you some clarity, some courage, or even a little bit of push towards the positive direction, I want you to take that with you, sit with it, go offline with it, and encourage you to continue to invest in your personal growth and say thank you for taking the time to be here for yourself and for the community, for the growth of the community. The U-Turn is not just a show. It's a community where real talk, real growth, and real U-Turn happens. So until next time, stay empowered, stay intentional, and never be afraid to make a U-Turn. Thanks. Bye.